If it wasn't obvious, by the intro we're going to add a new Berserker ability. Every hit from a melee weapon charges the bar. Every melee kill also charges the bar, albeit having more effect. After filling the bar, you can activate it, disabling all melee weapons for the next 10 seconds and granting you 500% faster swing speed with your fists, alongside drastically increased melee damage, movement speed, a stronger resistance to damage, better than the tactical armor, and the ability to stun enemies when punching them. And by enemies, I mean all enemies. That's right, Yosef, we're coming for you after Odin. Well, that's it. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and goodbye.
Bye. Subscribe. You don't have to.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Not to you. At least not yet. After returning from their visit and right to fight, the Berserker asked the Lazarus to whip up a new serum for their stim. Now, the Berserker can choose from 4 serums that all last 10 seconds and can be replenished completely on a kill instead of partially like the regular Berserker stim. The first is a speed serum that lets you combo stun enemies in quick succession. Every kill increases your overall attack speed, but the more hits you get on a single enemy increases your attack speed for a brief moment. The only downside being that you deal less melee damage overall, you don't run at supersonic speed, and you can't turn back time. The second is a defense serum that makes you slower, swing slower, and deal less melee damage. Basically, you're slower, but you'll only take 8% of all incoming damage. Melee, range, doesn't matter. Why 8%? Well, because it's an awkward number and you were expecting 10, weren't you? I got you. Yeah, I read your mind. The third is a heavy hitting serum that makes you swing slower, but all melee damage is multiplied by 3. Every kill with it increases your overall melee damage during that period of time by 0.1. For example, if you got 5 kills, your overall damage would be multiplied by 3.5. So it can definitely go on a snowball, or it'll definitely snowball. That's what I don't know what the term is. And finally, the fourth serum is one that lets you throw supersonic ranged punches at enemies, stunning them and knocking them back a couple feet. Also, if you time a jump with an attack correctly, the second you hit the floor, you'll perform a cone attack that can affect multiple enemies all at once. This will also knock enemies into the air and deal a bit of fall damage to them, but the closer they are to you, the higher into the air they'll go, meaning that they'll come back and hit the floor, and brains will be all over the place. Don't look, it's nasty. To honor the perks icon, you also deal more damage and deal damage against multiple enemies when you fight with a sledgehammer, similar to how the Vagabond can slash and hit multiple enemies at once. You can also hold your parry infinitely and can shove back multiple enemies if the sledgehammer is equipped. Also, just to put a cherry on top, you heal for 15 HP on kill. Find yourself a sledgehammer. Beat Bob the Butcher, not Builder. Fighting enemies face to face will give you a 50% damage buff because honor is all, cowardice be damned. But not like the actual damned, because that's a perk. You can throw away the life of melee and the honor and glory that comes with it altogether and choose a serum that makes bullets hit harder and explode on contact, because when the Berserker fights, you know it. You've fought and won against so many sledges that you now have the ability to grapple enemies, and let's add on to a buff earlier, you can grapple multiple enemies when you have a sledgehammer equipped. Grapple stuns last longer than shoves and parries, and grapples last twice as long on enemies that can grapple because they're confused that an enemy besides them can grapple. So yeah, take that, characters that can grapple. We're fighting back. Combo whoa time! You can talk to Survivor or Damned to change your stim, which is kind of a running theme in this video. That's fine, we'll go with it. These are the potential stims you can get. From the Survivor, a stim that constantly regens your HP, a stim that gives you increased backpack space, but for thematic effect, we'll just say you have a really high PR, and if the effect ends, then your movement speed will dramatically decrease until you drop the items you can't carry. Or a stim that turns your rock hard abs into lead bullets if you're choosing. Long, heavy, short, light, you choose. From Damned, you can choose 3 stims as well. A stim that makes you immune to morale debuffs, a stim that gives you the ability to pick up scavs and throw them at each other to stun them and deal a small amount of damage, and a stim that lets you become a sickler. But don't tell the Apostle that because they only use it for gains at the gym. And finally, every kill you get makes your overall duration for the stim longer by like half a second each kill until you die, then it resets. You know, I think that actually works as a last buff. Yeah, we'll call it there. Anyways, these are just some ideas of mine. I have tested them out mathematically, scientifically, in the game. They're all very balanced. I've definitely done all the testing needed to make them and implement them in the game. Hope you guys enjoyed and have a great rest of your day, and or night, and or morning, and or evening, and or midnight. Bye-bye!
Bye. Subscribe. You don't have to,
but you should.
Bye. Yeah. Ah!